Hello everyone, welcome in. Welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I'm Danielle Stimpson of Learn Reiki Philadelphia, and I am so glad that you are here with me this afternoon. If you are new here, go ahead and click that live chat button. Feel free to introduce yourself and set any intentions for your personal healing. We're going to spend the first hour or so together building a beautiful crystal grid exactly to all of your requests. So you can request specific stones or just your intention and I can pick them for you, whatever is your preference. If you are watching this as a video replay, hello from the past. If you'd like to skip ahead to the healing and music side of things, go to about the 1 hour mark or where you see the lights begin to shift and you can begin your journey there. And for those of you who are returning, it's good to see you again. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. So glad to have you here. Of course, if you want to know more about me, my live online Reiki certification trainings, or if you want to schedule a one-on-one distance session or reading, go ahead over to learnreikiphiladelphia.com to learn everything you need to know. All of it's linked in the description below. And let's dive into the grid and say hi to everyone. Awesome. So here's the starter of our grid today. My ears are popping because the weather pattern is about to shift and we have some rain tomorrow, so I can already feel the pressure changing. Let's see who we have here. I saw Jenny came in and said first. It's good to see you. Goddess of Four, Blue Sky, Violet Integration, Chris, and it's so good to see you all. Awesome. And Jenny, yes, I definitely have some stones for that. We will get to that for sure. I struggle with that too. Let's see. Oh, I love it. Okay, so let's dive right in. Oh, happy Friday. Absolutely. Yeah, the kitties are doing good. I've got Hattie right under here hanging out. Gertie is in her new favorite place. One of my pillows slipped behind the bed and now it is like extra kitty palace. So awesome. Great. Let's see. Wonderful. Okay. Kanta, good to see you too. Awesome. Welcome in. Oh, you got your stones from Belladonna's Botanicals. Oh, cool. Oh, I'm so happy. Let us know what you got. Oh, yeah, you're getting major ear pressure too, Blue Sky? Mm-hmm. Goodness. Okay. Oh, this must be horrible for anyone with a cold. Yeah. So, first request. Stones for love, both giving and receiving. Green calcite. Someone checked their email today. Nuummite, tourmalinated quartz, fire opal, and flower agate. Love it. Let's do it. Green calcite, Nuummite, tourmalinated quartz, and fire opal, flower agate. Okay, was looking for one for a moment. Awesome. Let's see if anyone else has come in. Jennifer Vatsa, good to see you. I was right the first time. Kanta. Okay, great. I wasn't sure if I was right the first time or this time. Thank you for letting me know. Let's see. Yeah, Jennifer Vatsa, all of that. All of that. So let's do that. Okay, so If you're not on my email list, there is a link in the description to join my email list where I give away different kinds of discount codes and updates on things. So you can totally do that. You can unsubscribe anytime you want. But today I sent out an email about my favorite stone for anxiety, and it just so happens to be green calcite. So, yep, green calcite, like I said, great for anxiety, but it's wonderful on the mental, emotional side of the anxiety, but also on the physical side. All of that tension that we hold in our physical body that the anxiety brings, this also helps unwind that, which can really help us to be a little bit more in our bodies, feel more comfortable, and also probably a little less tired. Anxiety energy is a lot to kind of hold on to. It's also great for the physical heart, and it's just reassuring and calming and just a lovely stone. So yeah, that's what we have here. All calcites are thought to be pretty helpful when it comes to bones and teeth as well. So let's go ahead and start things out here. Try to start out as evenly as we can. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so that is green calcite. I love the energy of green calcite. And for tourmalinated quartz, this is a stone that does quite a number of different things, and all of them are extremely helpful. So this is black tourmaline running through quartz. It can be any colored quartz. This happens to be a bit of a greenish, which brings in a bit more of a heart-centered feeling. I have clear as well. But tourmalinated quartz, tourmaline on its own, black tourmaline anyway, repels and dispels negative energy. And to have it running through quartz, it's like it breaks things up. So especially things like nervous energy, old patterns, especially patterns from childhood, things that we might be holding on to. So Jenny, this is one of the ones that I was going to pick for that. This is also great for, think of it as like a scar tissue breaking up. It's on the physical level, it's thought to help with scar tissue in the body and on the body, but also mental, emotional scar tissue. The things that we've gone through that have left a mark and make us feel kind of stuck, tourmalinated quartz can be really helpful. It's also great for bringing in new opportunities to earn money, whether that's like a second job, a new side gig, passive income, that kind of thing. Also for finding a more lucrative job altogether. But it's also thought helpful for fortune and luck. Definitely excellent for healing any kind of emotional trauma. And it's thought to be really protective of those who are traveling. So that is tourmalinated quartz. And this particular, the green, brings in a heart-centered vibe to it. So there we go. One of my favorite healing stones overall. Next, we'll jump to Nuummite, and this is a stone of really shadow healing. And shadow healing is where we go to the parts of ourselves that are painful and scary and do the work to let that pain go and hopefully move on from it. Nuummite, if you look at it here, it's, of course, this matte black, but when we put it in the light and we turn and twist, we see these bright glints of gold. It's thought to be the sparks of spirit coming to us in the darkness and saying, hey, you've found some wisdom here. Hey, you've learned something. Hey, remember, you're absolutely a divine manifestation of love. It's a beautiful stone for any of that kind of self-reflection, deep personal healing, really painful wounds, or habits and tendencies that you really struggle with deep down. It's also highly protective. Whether you're placing it near your tarot cards or spiritual things, and to keep the energy clear, or like in your personal space at work for the same reason, this can be a lovely stone for that. And flower blossom agate, I love this stone. It's so pretty, and you can see why it's called flower blossom. Some people call it Japanese flower blossom or a cherry blossom, and I can totally get why. This is a stone that allows us to see our newer self as we come through something blooming fresh and new, and see the newer version of ourselves after we've done some work, after we've moved through something. So this is a great gift for someone who is graduating. This is great for someone who's gone through something like physical therapy or psychotherapy, and they're kind of making a new turn and moving forward and kind of shifting their life into the positive. This helps them see that positive bloom and not just how much more work there is to do ahead, if there is any in their case. So yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful stone. So we'll bring this in. We'll bring it here for now. We may lay it down later. And let's see, just say hi to everybody else. Hey, Patty, how are you? Are you here with Key, or is it just you? Oh, fluorite for anxiety? Absolutely. Fluorite is, I like to think of it, anything that feels chaotic. Whether it's my mind that's chaotic, whether it's the world around me that's chaotic, whether it's the West Philly that is chaotic. Yeah, it's an excellent stone for anxiety. I love fluorite for that too. Let's see. Do. Awesome. Awesome, Patty. I can definitely help you out with those. And Chris, I'll definitely get to your list too. And okay, so fire opal. Opal is sacred to the shamans. This is one that is seen as when shamans who go into the spirit realms to do healing work, it's classically seen as any kind of opal can be really helpful for them, in that it kind of conceals their presence so that anything that's negative or would distract them or trick them would kind of not see them. So it's almost like an invisibility cloak in the spiritual realm if you're doing healing work, just to not attract any attention from anything that you don't need attention from. So very protective, and allows you to do the really good solid work for spirit that you're meant to do. So that is opal. Specifically fire opal. And see if I missed any there. Giving and receiving love. I love that. Let's do feel like the first thing that jumped to my mind was rose quartz, and I looked around and I'm like, yeah, it's rose quartz that wants to come in for that. So here we go. So rose quartz is, and I'm actually going to lay this down because I'm going to knock it over if I don't. So rose quartz is one that we think of all the time, but we really don't spend some time to like sink into it and think about all that it represents. My favorite thing about it, in complement to what a lot of folks are requesting here, is that this can help us to let go of things that are painful and difficult, because it really reminds us that there is deep, loving energy in the universe that can take its place. So it makes it a lot easier to let go of something negative when you have something positive to bring in its place. But this is also excellent for love, giving and receiving, and everything having to do with the heart chakra. So it's not just love, it is love, but also compassion. It's empathy. It's compassion and empathy for others. And most importantly, sometimes it's empathy and compassion for ourselves, which can be really easy to overlook. But this is a bright, abundant stone of the heart, so I hope that this helps. So let's put that under the Nuummite. Okay. And thank you for being here. It's good to see you. And Chris, I'm going to keep bringing your crystals in throughout the stream, but let's start with a few. And I did see a request. Key is working. Gotcha. Kanta, you had asked for the divine feminine in you and in the world, and that's very much in alignment with one of Chris's requests for Moonstone. So I'm going to start there. So Moonstone and Labradorite are very much related. We're going to start with some Moonstone. Moonstone is absolutely divine feminine, protection of women too, and connection to rhythms and patterns of nature as the moon controls the tides. It aids connection to and understanding of especially old spiritual traditions and healing traditions. It's intuition, releasing patterns, definitely opening the heart to love and to attracting your soulmate relationship. And I often think of it as very much in alignment with the High Priestess and the Tarot, like women's knowledge, ancient power of women, things like that. So that is Moonstone. So we'll bring that in. So I feel like that will help. And let's actually put them under. No, let's do something a little different. There we go. Okay, so like I said, Labradorite it's very close in terms of the geology of the stones, but they do have very complementary meanings. Where intuition is definitely one of the parts of Moonstone, it's also that way for Labradorite. Labradorite is wonderful for clairvoyance, and that's spiritual sight. It also aids sleep quality and like just better, more restive sleep. It helps to work in customer service and also just calming disputes. It's great for harmony and detailed attention to things. So if you're going through a lot of information or a lot of things and you're looking for, say, an error or like needle in a haystack kind of stuff, this can help you have that very fine attention to detail. And it's also great for studying and research. So we'll bring this in. This is Labradorite. We'll put that on top of the Moonstone since they're so related. There we go. Peridot helps us to break up old habits and cycles that aren't serving our purpose anymore, and help support the friendships and relationships in our life that allow us to be the best version of ourselves and kind of prop us up on that. It's also great for depression if you're struggling with gaining weight and that's been a struggle for you and it's an intention that you have. This can help with that as well. And it's also wonderful for digestion, especially things like acid reflux, Crohn's, and IBS. So this is Peridot. Herkimer diamond, which is actually a double terminated quartz, is very helpful for manifesting. This is a stone that allows us to be in the present moment, which, if you ask me, that's like the key to manifesting, is knowing where you are and appreciating where you are, and then thinking about what you need next. So you're not just constantly chasing the next thing. You get to be in that moment and experience the now. It's also great for balancing sort of disharmony in terms of energy. It's great for metabolism, and it's also wonderful for intuition as well. So I'm going to put this right here, coming down from our Moonstone. Okay, awesome. And blue kyanite. Blue kyanite helps us to love and accept ourselves exactly as we are. And that's not always an easy thing. And I say that, and already the it's spring, go ahead and like get your bikini body things are like hitting the commercials and all that. And I'm like, oh, how do you have a bikini body? Yeah, you have a body, you put a bikini on that body, you now have a bikini body. So, but this is one that helps you love and accept yourself precisely as you are, which really is a great foundation for any kind of self-improvement work. This is also great for understanding spiritual messages, whether it's dreams, tarot, anything like that. If you feel like you're getting a message and it's difficult to decode, blue kyanite for sure. Also good for recovery from things like stroke. It's thought to be supportive of that. So we'll bring this in. And then I will come back to your list too, Chris. And intention of attracting new clients, financial abundance, and clarity around next steps. I love it. Hey, W, I hope you're doing well. Okay, let's see. So, new clients and financial abundance. Clarity around next steps. Let's start here. Let's start with one of our favorites, cinnabar. This is cinnabar in quartz, and the little red dots you see there are the actual cinnabar. Cinnabar is very, very dangerous. It is mercury, so be very careful with this one. Though long before we knew mercury was as dangerous as it was used for lots of things, and it was often seen as the merchant stone. It's thought to attract customers to a business. So I'll bring this in for you. Let's do this one here. Citrine is fantastic for calling in financial abundance. It also helps us to balance logic with intuition, make good decisions regarding the money we do have. And it aids with nausea and even fibromyalgia. So this is citrine. Okay, so we'll bring that in. And there's two crystals I want to bring in next. The first is picture jasper. When it comes to like envisioning the future, this is a good one. It helps us to get that kind of picture of what the future is going to look like. It also helps us expand it a little bit. It's great for seeing the big picture and for thinking big about new adventures and new ventures if you're someone who's looking to start a business or anything. It's also great for finding hidden fears that might be holding you back, as well as supporting moves abroad or travel abroad, especially if you're going to be working with new cultures. So this is picture jasper. So I'll bring some of these in. And bear with me as I just look for one more thing. Hey, Letitia, good to see you. So I feel like the other one I want to add is blue calcite. This is one of my like go-to emotional, like stuff hits the fan kind of emotional first aid stones, but it also brings an awful lot of clarity and revelations around things that are important, whether it's in terms of healing or whatever we might be asking the universe for clarity on. It also helps to soothe emotional pain and helps you to verbalize anything that you're really struggling to kind of say. And it also helps us to make decisions, even if we're in an emotionally rough place. So, but given the revelations and the clarity, I feel like this is really helpful here. So this is blue calcite. So all the best with getting clarity and guidance on your path. And I'm glad you are here. Cool. Depression and complex PTSD. Definitely for complex PTSD, and I struggle with that myself. Tourmalinated quartz can be exceptional for that, like exceptional for that, because it really helps break up those old patterns, especially stuff from childhood that we might even be too young to even really comprehend. It breaks it up and makes it a lot easier to let go of it. So it doesn't seem like it's all stuck together, because that's what complex trauma is. It's like it's a whole lot of events that stick together into one big mess. And that helps to like break things apart so you can get through it a little bit easier. So I work with that a lot. Other things are, I really like moss agate. This is one that helps with, this is one that we often use when people are ill. And if you've got whether it's a virus or an infection, this is thought to help rid it from the body much more quickly. Like it supports the body to kind of get control of it. It's also really helpful with connection to nature, fears, like especially fears of the unknown, but especially connections with our inner child and our higher self. Inner child is that part of us that we're healing. So we can actually envision it as like taking care of the younger self. And the higher self allows us to get some more divine wisdom, to get some insight into things that are beyond our immediate understanding. It's also great for unconditional love and connection to spirit, which is so helpful. So moss agate and tourmalinated quartz are two of my favorites. So there's some moss agate. Cool. I'm so glad you're here. It's a slog helping yourself through that, but oh, hang on, copyrighted music. Gotta love springtime stereos. An acceptance of what is. Absolutely. Acceptance is a good one too. Mookite is good for accepting change, but it's also good for like a herkimer is good for being in the present moment. Acceptance really too. Acceptance actually more than mookite. I actually want to bring in amethyst for you. This is the stone that we often see linked with things like recovery, whether it's mental health recovery or addiction recovery or compulsion recovery. A lot of the tenets that we see in the 12 steps are actually represented in amethyst. And part of it is that connection to spirit, seeing yourself as connected to spirit and a part of spirit, and also supporting you as you make changes. It helps you to be kind to yourself as you make positive change, but it also helps you to accept what you can't change what you can't accept, and take ownership of and responsibility for yourself and let go of ownership and responsibility of things that really do belong to other people. So this can be very helpful on your path too. So all the best to you. I hope that it's helpful. Let's put this under the tourmalinated quartz. And yeah, all the best to you. So healing for your hand, arthritis, crystals for cooperation in doing projects. Absolutely. There's a couple of good stones for arthritis. One of which is blue lace agate. Blue lace agate is also helpful for sore throats and anything involving the throat, and also the throat chakra. So expressing and communicating things that are difficult to say, or if you're trying to convey something that's difficult for someone else to hear and you want it to be as gentle as possible, this is superb. It's also wonderful for tension headaches and arthritis and fractures. So that's blue lace agate. And that's right, that's where they are. I moved them over here. Dalmatian jasper. I love this for cooperation. It's also great for clearing the energy field. So we talked about tourmalinated quartz, how it's black tourmaline going through clear or colored quartz. This is what happens when we have black tourmaline going through something that's not clear. And it's, in this case, Dalmatian jasper brings that beautiful energy of black tourmaline that repels negative energy and breaks it up and brings it into our entire auric field. So it helps to like clear our energy and keep it clear. But it also really aids cooperation, whether it's a work environment or like a study group or anything like that. It's also helpful for digestive issues, especially things like IBS, Crohn's, any of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to bring this in for you. And I just have to shuffle this over a little bit. There we go. That's more balanced. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, Dalmatian jasper is definitely going to be helpful there. So awesome. Let's see. Yeah, clarity is always so hard. Energy balance, because oofda, it has been a week. Yep. Anger management, financial stability, and love and hope. Gotcha. Well, for love and hope, it immediately shot into my mind to use snowflake obsidian. This is one that can help with mind, body, spirit balance and being overstimulated too, like calming overstimulation. It brings serenity, peace, and hope, especially after like a time of loss or even a really just difficult time like the week you've had. It's great for clairaudience, which is hearing our spiritual guidance. And it just brings in general the mind, body, spirit balance back into connection. So I feel like it's a nice recalibrating stone. And in fact, it's so funny. I use this all the time. I have had this stone since I was a very little girl. I still get to use it. If only little Danielle could know how she would get to use that one day. One of my hematite too. And anger management. Let's bring in some dumortierite. This is anger and like Uranus energy, like chaos energy kind of stuff. Helps tidiness. Definitely helps with anger and with patience, and helps you to stand up for yourself too. It's also one that improves situations that seem just beyond hope. And so sometimes when you've had a whole week, you need something to hold on to. So this is one, and this actually came from Jennifer's shop, Belladonna Botanicals, which you can find online by Googling Belladonna Botanicals or by going to Etsy for Belladonna Botanicals. So there's those. I'm also going to bring in howlite, which is one that I often use for anger. It's good for the anger, the resentment, and also the frustration that can kind of come up. It helps to kind of chill it out a little bit. It helps us to step back. It takes the immediate sting out of things so that we can get a little bit more clarity and think about things rather than them being quite so volatile. This gives us a chance to see if there's anything else we can do to rearrange things or just help us move through a time where just anger is just going to be a part of it. It's also excellent for the bones and the joints, and that's what we usually use it here for. I have bone density issues, and I, of course, take my supplements and eat appropriately to support those things and do weight-bearing exercises, and I absolutely carry around some howlite for myself too. It's thought to help with the bones with getting stronger and also help with any of the joints in the body too. So good for teeth, bones, and hair in general. So I'll bring this one up here. Knocking stuff over. So if anyone's got joint issues, this is a wonderful stone. And sadly, it usually gets overlooked. People are so quick to sell it as white turquoise because white turquoise is very valuable. And that kind of keeps people from knowing about howlite. White turquoise is a thing. White turquoise and howlite are different things. It's like diamonds are clear. And quartz is clear. They are different things. They're both beautiful things, but they are different things. Let's see, financial stability, love and hope. Let's see. When I think financial stability, like in addition to things like citrine and all, iolite, because it's really good for connecting with basic needs. It's sort of like it balances the third eye and the root a little bit. This is how it helps us with if we're, say, really ungrounded, or say you're meditating all day and then you can't sleep. It's like the ungroundedness of that. Iolite can really help with that. It can also help with money management and making good money decisions, using the money you have to the best of your abilities. It helps with any kind of spiritual vision work like shamanic journeying, visionary meditation, and if you have an intention around weight loss, this is another stone that can help you. So it's pretty diverse in what it does and in how it does it, but I really love working with iolite. But let me know if there's any other specific stones you want me to grab for you. Get in there, iolite. There we go. So I hope that helps. You were having weird dreams this week too? Oh my goodness, me too. Welcome in, TJ. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. You've seen this before and this is your first live. I'm so glad you're here. Oh yes, and don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you for reminding me, Patty. I appreciate that. And Catherine, welcome in. Gotcha, okay. Okay, Jen, you did give me some requests there too. I did just see those. Chevron, amethyst, shungite, lemurian. Lemurian's also really a stone that can help with the PTSD also. So yeah, let's do some lemurian. Chevron, amethyst, did I already pull that? No. And shungite. So shungite is one that we often use here for like physical recovery, like injury, illness. It's good for repairing the tissues of the body, but it's also great for releasing stress, emotional pain, and energy blocks. It also absorbs a lot of the negative energy we may absorb into ourselves, especially if we're having a hard time letting go of it. It helps with anyone who struggles with electromagnetic fields. This can be helpful. But yeah, it's a great clearing stone, as well as a help you heal stone. So that is shungite. Chevron amethyst is, I like to think of it along the lines of Herkimer diamond. It's got a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. It can help with connecting psychically, spiritually, getting messages from spirit and sending messages up to spirit. It helps us with if we're doing any kind of channeling, shamanic journeying, any kind of visionary work or scrying. This can be exceptional. It's also great for anything that's like a degenerative disease too. So this is Chevron amethyst. I'm just going to put it right in alignment with blue kyanite. And lemurian, gotcha. So lemurian is great for healing the past, especially childhood, releasing past pain, and for not only earlier in this life, but also past lives, the pains that are attached to those. It also helps with learning about yourself on the spiritual journey and on the healing journey, which is so incredibly empowering and important. It's learning about ourselves while we go through that healing process is the wisdom that we can use to help base helping others on. So this is Lemurian quartz. Yeah, that's another one that's definitely good for complex trauma. Thank you, TJ. Let's see, bloodstone, green kyanite, green onyx. I love working with green onyx. Bloodstone. We have rainbow obsidian, dumortierite. Spelled good. With spelling, as long as I know what you're writing, doesn't matter. I'm a terrible speller. It's like anytime I'm writing anything from an email to website copy, I have at least one window open where I'm throwing in words to see if I'm spelling them correctly. I don't trust spell checks. It's like I'll do it on my own. Let's see, lapis, aquamarine, amazonite. Petrified wood. and chrysocolla and chrysoprase. You got it. So I'm just going to look through everybody else's requests too before I put those down so I can make sure I'm touching on everyone's stuff. And honey calcite, cool. The Amazonite is definitely going to be helpful for the sciatic pain. So let's put that in first. Amazonite helps us with self-respect and self-care. This is for those people that tend to overlook themselves and would rather focus on the healing needs of others. This is a good stone to remind us of self-care. And it's also great for neurological stuff, especially the spine and the nerves of the spine, including the nerves of the lower body, especially the sciatic nerve. So this can be really helpful with that. It's also deeply calming too. So we'll bring in Amazonite. And hair, nails, and skin. Hair and nails, definitely howlite. There's a couple that are good for skin. Let's go ahead and bring in leopard skin jasper. Leopard skin jasper is great for a number of things. We most often use it here for anything having to do with healing animals. It helps us to better connect to animals and healing work with them. It's also if you want to connect with your animal spirit guardians. Wonderful for that. It's helpful for attracting your soulmate, and it's great for anything impacting the skin, as well as anything parasitic. It helps coordination and balance under certain circumstances too. So that's leopard skin jasper. Definitely if we're all having wild dreams, blue kyanite. I'm so glad that that's there because that can really help us to understand what parts we need to understand if there's anything we need to consciously understand. Okay, so let's go back to Patty's request and Chris's request. So we talked about blue kyanite. Green kyanite, it's a very spiritual stone, but it also is excellent for the upper respiratory system, the lungs, every part of breathing. And especially if you're struggling with a cold or allergies, this is a good one to have. It also helps to balance your spiritual life and like your regular work-a-day mundane life. If you feel like it's almost like two extremes. It helps with gaining wisdom through intuition and with connecting with the spirit of plants. So if you're somebody who works with like plant magic, or you have a garden, or you have plants inside, this helps you be a little bit more spiritually connected with those plants. So we'll bring this in. Bloodstone is another one of my emotional first aid kind of stones, along with blue calcite. It's great for when the emotions are so intense, so extreme, and often so like fast, like shocking, difficult news kind of stuff. It really can help you ground and collect yourself and start to process what you're going through. It helps with letting go of self-doubt. And it helps you feel it helps you feel a little bit more like you have a little bit more emotional reserve to support yourself, a little bit more of the emotional perseverance to keep going through something that's challenging. Like if someone passes away and you're like, oh, I have to do like the estate and like, where does everyone go? And how am I even going to make decisions right now? I'm like heartbroken. This is one of the stones you can really trust, this and blue calcite. Also great for quieting the mind during meditation. So I've used it for that and it is quite helpful. And this stone goes by another name as well. It also goes by heliotrope. It's a deep green and there's hints of red in it. And I just often think of it as it like the heart and the root. Petrified wood helps us with difficult change. This is a tree that was alive at one time and just a tree outside. And after it died, it transformed slowly over time into a stone. And it's one that can help us with, things have to end one way for them to begin again a different way. So very much like the Death card and the Fool relationship in tarot. It's very wise, very supportive, and helps you to just be in the moment of your transitions. Those bittersweet transitions in life that can be really helpful for. Green onyx is one I like alongside bloodstone, alongside black onyx, alongside a lot of stones. This is great for grief, sadness, and just even really intense like emotional shutdown. When it's like your emotions are so much, you're like, I just feel numb. I don't know if you've ever had that experience. I definitely have. But this helps you move forward despite that pain. And it helps with making decisions for the highest good, even though you might just be feeling a little bit emotionally checked out. So green onyx. Onyx comes in a number of colors, and you may have even seen goblets and dinnerware and plates and things made of onyx and not even realized it was onyx. Here, I'll show you. This is what onyx often looks like. Now, this looks like calcites, and you could mistake it for that, but yeah, it actually is onyx. And when I say green onyx is often like more a pistachio color, this is what I mean. Finding it that dark, naturally that dark, without having been dyed is somewhat rare, though. Those were mined like in the 50s or 60s, and I'm lucky enough to have them. And they will be available on the website soon, so that's exciting. And honey calcite, I think, is one of our favorites. It brings in all the optimism and all the good rays of sunshine. Optimism even when things are tough. But it also helps attract really incredible people. So if you are moving through any kind of change, transition, moving to a new job, and you literally moving, anything like that, this is like, okay, I want to bring some people into my life. I only want the best. Honey calcite for sure. It's also thought to support postmenopausal women. I actually am a postmenopausal woman. I lost my ovaries when I was 34. So yeah, I also worked a lot with Unikite for that, and I found it very helpful. Let's bring this in. Chris had requested sapphire. This is a stone. I'm also going to put some intention in here for Greg and Susan. But this is a great stone for channeling, getting intuitive messages, connecting to our guides and spirit, and bringing those messages through. If anyone here does that stuff professionally, and I know a few of you do, this can help us with like the translating and getting the words out and what we're feeling and experiencing and describing it in a way that's the most useful for the querent. I always keep a bunch of these around when I'm doing the tarot reading for all 12 signs. It's always just off camera. It's really helpful with that. It's helpful for connecting with our angels as well. And it's also really helpful for speedy justice. It's helpful for the thyroid, the ears and eyes, and envisioning a positive potential when you're going through a lot of change. So sapphire. Let's actually put them right behind here. Lapis is excellent for moving up in your career, but it's also excellent for pain and inflammation. It's helpful for taking personal responsibility, which is very much connected with amethyst too. If you want to grow your integrity, your talk-to-do ratio, as my friend Janie always says, this is a great one for it. Also, truth, honesty, open communication, and inner ear stuff like vertigo, balance issues, and hearing loss. But it can also help you to move past disorganization and start to build some new habits around that if you struggle with that. So let's go ahead and bring that. Lapis is so beautiful. Aquamarine, we often joke that this is the anti-Karen stone, and it works. It works. It's also great for all of the fluids in the body and the teeth and gums, and I know that that was a request, teeth, gums, nails, hair. This helps with those. It also helps deflect pettiness and people who are already in a sour mood and are looking for someone to take it out on. I like to say the already aggrieved. Like, you came in here already aggrieved. Why is it my problem? But it's also another one that may justice prevail kind of stone. So this is aquamarine. For now, let's move this to the center. And so aquamarine. Chrysocolla, another one of our favorites. Hey, Andrea 54 Hector. Let me know if that's Andrea or Andrea. I'm not sure. And welcome in. I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for subscribing. Oh, Susan, you are there. Yay. I always say we're thinking about you, and I'm so glad when you hear it. You love sapphire. The only reason you never requested is because Chris will, right? It's such a great stone. So chrysocolla is another one of our favorites. This helps with making decisions that are in alignment with our highest good and also encourages us on our spiritual path, which is so important and so helpful. It's also one that's thought to help with creative expression, and I did see the one request for help with creativity. This is very helpful, especially if you feel really stuck on your spiritual journey or you feel like you're not quite connected with it at the moment. This may help you find a new creative outlet to reconnect with it, whether that's coloring, painting, crafting, whatever it is. A lot of times when we get into that artistic flow, it can really unlock so much stuck stuff. That's why I craft and crochet and all those things. So yeah, chrysocolla. I'm going to put them just on top of the grid and on the bottom of the grid. I might even just, they're so pretty. Well, let's see. We might have room to put them in the grid. The Karen stone made you laugh out loud. Yeah, right. Can we just have a bodysuit of aquamarine? Aquamarine is a pricey stone. Oh my goodness. I can find raw ruby at about the same price, sometimes a little cheaper than aquamarine, and that's wild because ruby is the most expensive stone worldwide. Like in the US, diamonds are really popular, but globally, ruby is like the stone. It's just kind of amazing That's why I don't sell it in the shop. It's so expensive. And I have chrysoprase too, but I want to go back up to Chris's list. Let's do some rutilated, some pyrite, some aragonite. Pyrite's another one that helps with manifesting financial abundance. We like to think that the fool's gold brings the real gold. Oh my goodness. Let's hope it do. It also helps the body to make the most of Reiki. It can be very protective while also supporting intuition. And it's great for fever, the lungs, brain, and memory. So pyrite. And it naturally forms like that in those squares. I used to have a specimen that was like matrix, just like basic stone that it was in, with a big square that had grown out of it. It was so cool. So let's bring this in. Carnelian. This one is great for relationships and for everything to do with the sacral chakra. So this is calling on our spiritually significant relationships, healing wounds and colds. Also great for fertility, creativity for certain, and cold allergies, things like that. So we're going to bring that in. This can really help groups to work together well too. So I know that that was a request, and that's why I put in the Dalmatian jasper. This is helpful for that as well. So I'm going to bring this in, and with it, I'm going to bring in some Sodalite, because there was that request around creativity. Where creativity is born of the sacral chakra, it is expressed from the throat. And so sometimes I like to complement both sides of that. And Sodalite is great for expression. And expression, yes, verbally or like public speaking or writing, but also artistically or musically or performance, any way that you express creatively. Pardon the clickety clacks. So yeah, Sodalite. It looks so much like lapis, but it's got so much white. This is also a stone that can be really helpful for homesickness if you're traveling or moving far away. Let's actually do Sodalite. Now let's do Sodalite here. There we go. So that's Sodalite. Aragonite with Caribbean blue calcite. This is two different types of calcite. We have a lot of calcite, but calcite's awesome. And it's all over the place, like in the world, literally. The blue side of this works with the soul star chakra, which is above the crown. And that encompasses all the ways in which we can be connected to the highest possible version of our soul's mission, of our soul's potential. And it helps us to access that and balance it and be in connection with it. The tan is aragonite, and part of what that stone does is it works within the earth star chakra. That's beneath the root. That's where we enact our soul's purpose and make it actionable. That's like showing up places, introducing yourself, doing the thing to take the potential and make it reality. So together, it's a very potent stone. It helps to balance all of the energy field, all of the chakras, and especially the kundalini, which is coiled at the base of the spine. It can help that to flow much more evenly. So aragonite with Caribbean blue calcite. It's definitely great for like facilitating awareness of our soul's purpose too. And let's see, where can we place these? Let's do... and chrysoprase. This is for overcoming disappointment, completing goals, having follow through, and picking up the pieces after loss. I like to think of it as the pivot stone, like roadblock. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Okay, well, I've got to pick up the pieces and like change direction. It's great for all of that. It's also great for when you've got like one really big thing you've been working on a long time and you're like, I feel like I'm never going to finish. What did I bite off? Like, this is a stone that I often think of my friends when they've gone through grad school and they're like, why did I do this to myself? I'm never going to be finished. Oh my goodness. This helps remind you like, wait, you're much farther along than you were when you started. Keep your eyes on the prize. You will get there. If you have a loss or you need to pivot, this helps remind you that like not all is lost. You gained a lot through that experience. You have that to bring with you into what you do next. And it can be very encouraging in that regard. But yeah, it can also help with overcoming things not turning out the way you want them to. When people's businesses were closing right at the start of COVID, that was a stone I was recommending for lots of folks. I even closed my own brick and mortar and moved online, as you can see, but I never felt like that tremendous loss. I felt like I was just on purpose, like I was within alignment of my purpose to do what I was doing. But there's definitely been times in my career where it's like I feel like I've lost everything, and this is the stone that reminds you that like, no, you don't. Like, you still have you and everything you brought to begin with. So let's bring this in. Let's actually bring this big piece here. These two small pieces here. Yay. Clickety clackety sounds are soothing. I'm glad. Okay, so writing creatively, that's what I was aiming for with carnelian and sodalite. I'm also going to bring in and just put it around the edge of the grid for you. Blue tiger eye. It is the best one for writing. It really is. This is one for definitely for writing, but more than anything, bold communication. So this is very good for calming and easing stress right out of the gate. But when you need courage to speak your truth, this can be very helpful. Whether it's written, spoken, any way that you're communicating it. It's also great for anybody who has to, like, it's a good whistleblower stone. When you have to tell the truth and that truth is not convenient for everyone and people don't want to hear it. Blue tiger eye. This is a great facts over feelings kind of stone. So it's like golden tiger eye, but as you can see, blue. So I will put that around the edge of the grid. Or even see if there's anywhere I can place it in here. I'll place it around the edge. Okay. Okay, so I think we are good. I know we're running a little late, but I still feel like having us vote on some stones because we haven't done that in a bit. Oh, we have leopard skin jasper in there. Yeah, it's already in there, so good stuff. Hope Kitty is okay. So I'm going to pick a couple of stones, and you all are going to vote on which one is going in the grid. Sorry, I hit the mic stand there. You all will vote on which one goes in the grid, and you're not limited to just one vote. Hint, hint. And while y'all are voting, I'll quickly explain what Reiki is, a little of what to expect, and then we're going to dive into the healing. So give me a moment to pick a couple of stones that really complement the requests that y'all had today. So I second guessed myself. Should never do that. Okay, so the first option that you have, and hint, hint, you're not limited to just one vote. You can see in the chat how we do. The first option is malachite. This is wonderful for arthritis and inflammation for sure, but when it comes to depression, anxiety, heartache, heartbreak, bittersweet movings on, this helps move a lot of that energy through the heart space a lot more easily. It takes the bitter times and helps us to process them and let go of them as we move on to where we are meant to be. It's also great for processing those painful emotions, and it's also great for fear of flying, I've found. So if anyone struggles with that. But it's also got links to, like I said, arthritis and inflammation. So that was definitely a thing today. Oh, I already have leopard skin jasper and lapis lazuli. I already have them both in here, but good requests. They're perfect for today. The other is one that we seldom work with, and this is the one I second guessed myself. This is Septarian, sometimes called dragon's egg. It's a really funky looking stone, and it's a lot of different kinds of calcite and bentonite clay. It's basically like something that was turned into a stone, and then that stone broke apart and something else fell into those cracks and created another stone. So it looks kind of like a dragon's egg. This helps to work with definitely skin wounds, lesions, and I know that was a thing, but also shadow work. It supports us in being really vulnerable when we're going through some emotionally challenging and difficult times, like when we're really sorting through our personal stuff and doing some deep healing. It can help us to be vulnerable. It's also great for understanding the underlying cause of why it is you have a certain pattern or reaction or feeling or belief. It's great for getting to the root of that. And it's also really empowering for the solar plexus, which is your center of self-identity. So feel free to vote on either, wink, wink. I'm going to quickly explain what Reiki is, how it works, and then we're going to get back into the healing. So as I mentioned at the top of the stream, my name's Danielle Stimpson, and I'm so glad to have you here with me today. If you want to learn more about me, my live online Reiki certification classes, if you want to schedule a one-on-one distance healing session or tarot reading with me, or if you want to shop my Reiki charge crystals, go ahead over to learnreikiphiladelphia.com. It's linked in the description below. And if you look under the community tab, you'll notice that there is just for my YouTube people, because you pushed me over 800 subscribers and you all helped me even though I didn't ask for it. I have put up a nice little savings and coupon code for you, and it is YouTube 800 and on the community tab you can see the expiration date on that. I believe it's like Tuesday, but it might be later. But yeah, definitely go ahead and check that out. And thank you all so much for subscribing and for your likes and all of that. All of that super helps the channel, and I'm deeply appreciative. So what is Reiki? Well, for the last 14 years, I've been honored to teach Usui Reiki, and that's one style of many. Reiki has become kind of a catch-all term for energy healing. Usui Reiki is one specific practice of energy healing that's named after its founder, Mikao Usui. He founded this practice in the early 1920s in Japan. It's deeply spiritual and completely secular, which was really required at that time in Japan's history. It was a very difficult time for him and folks like him. And it totally resonates with us in the West because we generally live a more secular life. So what is it? Well, essentially, what energy is in this context of Usui Reiki, the best place to look for a good description of that is Shintoism, which is the indigenous spirituality of Japan, in which everything has a soul. Me, you, this microphone, whatever you're sitting or lying on, everything has a soul. And all of that soul energy is interconnected. And that spirit, however you define it, supports that interconnected life with a number of different energies, one of which is a spiritually guided soul energy. And that's what Reiki translates to. Spiritually guided soul energy or life energy. It's thought that this energy is flowing through everyone and everything all the time. Our body, mind, and spirit are working with these energies all the time to help bring about the greatest healing and balance moment to moment. Essentially, what I'll be doing today is using Usui's techniques to connect with that energy and direct more of it to you, where your body, mind, and spirit will take it and put it to the best use for you, and very much in support of the intentions you've set. So as I send this energy to you, wherever you happen to be and whenever you happen to be, you don't have to do anything, as wild as that sounds. Just go ahead and find a nice comfortable place to sit or lie down, close your eyes, and just relax. Or for that matter, if you feel like you don't want to sit still, go ahead, take a couple of stretches, or journal, or read some cards for yourself. Whatever feels right for you in this moment, because this is all about your self-care. Know that you don't have to do anything, including focus on anything. You don't have to focus on anything during your session. You don't have to keep your mind silent at all. If you feel like your mind is racing or you're not quite sure if it's helpful, you can always take a deep breath in and out. Also helps if you get like distracted or if there's a loud noise or something. It can help you to just sort of recalibrate and come back into your session. But you don't have to do a darn thing. Just be yourself. During the session, I will lower the lights. You'll notice that they move slowly and gently from one color to the next. At no point will they flash or strobe. And I will turn the music up. If you'd like to learn more about our musical creator, there's a link at the bottom of the description to her channel. Definitely check her out. It's the beautiful soundtrack that I usually am working through the day to. And also, as far as sending Reiki through time, like if you're finding this video in the future, guess what? This is going to be just as helpful in the future as it is for you right if you're here right now, because we are all interconnected, and Reiki doesn't really see a boundary with space or with time. So wherever you happen to be and whenever you happen to be, this energy is here for you to enjoy just the same. For those of you who are here live, if you ever feel like you need a session and I'm not live, go ahead and check out our past healing live streams. There's almost 300 videos there for you to enjoy whenever you feel like you need it. I'm here live 5 times a week, same days, same times, and the schedule's in the description. But you can also subscribe with your notifications on so you don't miss an opportunity. So during the session, just go ahead, enjoy yourself. And at the end of the 25-minute session, you will hear the music begin to lower in volume. You'll hear my voice welcome you back to take a deep breath in and out. And then I'll reopen the chat so you can ask any questions or share any experiences. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor and a pleasure sharing this healing with all of you today. And let's go ahead back and see what won that vote. Gee, I wonder what it was. Oh, it's 8:10 now? Thank you, everybody. Wow, thank you. Oh, you're so happy you finally got to participate in the vote. Isn't it fun? It's both. Wow, how did we know? Because we're just that cool. Why pick when we can have all of them? So let's bring in some of that malachite and some of that Septarian. These are actually available on my website. I love Septarian. It's so pretty. Let's see. Going to move this over here. There is room. We will make it work. So get comfy, everybody. Get comfy because you have some Reiki coming at you. Oh, that looks awesome. Thank you everyone so much for inspiring the stream. Actually, here, let's move this over. Yeah, that feels good. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for inspiring this beautiful grid. Enjoy your session, and I will see you in about 25 minutes. And for those of you who are just joining in person for the first time, welcome! So glad you're here. I invite you now to take a deep breath in and out, slowly coming back to your body. Feel free to stretch, move, or bend. Wiggle your fingers and toes. See if you can hear Hattie's purrs. And when you're ready, you can hop into the chat and ask any questions or share any experiences. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everyone. Somebody got a whole Reiki session along with us. Yes, I will definitely be back here at 8 p.m. East Coast U.S. time tonight, and Sunday, East Coast U.S. time, 8 p.m. So feel free to join me then, too. Okay. She's usually so, like, jumpy and skittish and, like, all over the place, and then she gets Reiki and she's just like, You're so welcome, Catherine, Susan, TJ. So glad you could join us live. Oh, thank you, Patty. That's so sweet. May the love of the divine shine down upon us all. That's beautiful, Patty. Thank you. And remember, if you are searching for stones this evening, head over to learnreikiphiladelphia.com/shop or just click the shop button. And your promo code is YouTube800. And I just typed it into the chat. You've noticed that, oh, the leopard skin jasper always draws your kitty in? That stuff is potent. It really works. Oh, thank you, Kanta. I appreciate you too. Thank you all so, so much. So I'm going to go ahead and wind down the stream so I can go ahead and eat some dinner and be ready for you at 8 p.m. Thank you again so much for being here. And as always, if you have questions or anything, if YouTube is a bit public to ask them, you can always reach out to me through my website. Just use the message option on my website and it'll get sent to me in email and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Oh, kitties. Oh, good stuff. It's true. Leopard skin jasper. It's potent stuff. Walking through an animal shelter with that stuff in your pocket is a wild experience. Oh, thank you. Bon appetit. Yes, I will enjoy some food. Yummy. Everyone have a beautiful rest of your afternoon. Take care, and I will hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.